Hey everybody, welcome to the Torah Matinee Shiur. Um, like always, no idea what I'm going to say. Um, Thought I would deliver this one from the Bima, though, because I can. And so I'm in the Chabad of Monterey. I spent the Hag here with the Rav and his family. The whole Mishpacha was here. The boys are so grown up, really super proud. Next weekend is uh, what's her name? Rivki's bat mitzvah. So real excited about that. Told them I'd stay in town, to go to the bat mitzvah, and so Champ pinned himself down. That was, that's what I do. So I've been here, and I've been doing what I do when I'm here, which is basically walk around and same thing I do everywhere else. So, but it was Pesach, and it was a very special Pesach because um, there were two incidents of Shabbos Pesach, and our tradition tells us that on Shabbos a person enjoys a special closeness to Hashem. Certain kinds of understandings will come to a person on Shabbos, and deeper meanings become apparent, and that kind of thing. So because of that, and because of the sorts of issues I've been working through in this particular moment of my life, it was a good Pesach. I contemplated the parsha and walked Silomar, and boy, I, I guess it's nice to be home. Wow. Didn't expect to get that feeling. Thought I had left here forever, but so it is, and so it is. I'm standing in the shul, another Torah matinee shiur, and this is where I delivered the first one, standing right here, and boy, that was a long time ago. And so, am I ever going to talk about the parsha? Alrighty. So on the first day of Pesach, um, Yom Tov, Shabbos, right? Two Sefer Torahs. Um, the pasuk went something like, "Why are you praying to me?" Right? The people are standing at the edge of Yam Suf. The Egyptians are, behind them. They see Mitzrayim, which is, Egypt, but it's also, the god of Egypt, and it's behind, Paro and his army, and they're scared. And so Hashem tells them, "Why are you praying to me?" Seems like that's kind of the right thing to be doing, but it turns out that there's a moment in life where the prayers end, and you got to kick it into gear and do the thing. And Rashi spins it a little. He says, he says it like, "Why are you praying to me?" Right? Because the whole situation, the whole heel of salvation is on me, says Hashem. Why are you even, thinking about it? Because earlier in the story, and also in the Haggadah, it talks about God's, outstretched hand of salvation, and how the situation is taken care of and all that business. And so there really wasn't any room for, fear. And so, I don't have a Chumash in front of me, but there's a fellow that they identify by name, in there. And he was the first guy to jump, in. Hey, look at that. Someone loves me. So he was the first guy to jump in. And then when he jumped in, the sea split. But until somebody jumped in, they were trapped. So I had a thought, I'm walking along, I'm walking down the beach, and, it occurred to me, this is David Torah here, is, we had previously learned, and I talked about this I think maybe in my last year, that the Jews had a slave mentality. So when they volunteered, their their efforts to the building of the Mishkan later, they didn't have any skill to back up their desire to help, but their willingness to help made it that they had the skill, and so they were able to do things like weave golden thread. Okay, so same thing here. Somebody jumps in, and the water then splits because in order for there to be blessing in this world, it has to settle on something. It either settles on an action, settles on our hands, settles on some object that we use as a kli. But it has to go somewhere. It doesn't just float around. Well, it does, but in order for it to become visible, it has to settle onto something. So in this case, the person jumped in, and so the blessing, descended upon, all of them. But the thought that occurred to me was, in the same way that they didn't have any craftsmanship skills, they probably didn't know how to swim either. Okay, so, jump in. So it brings a new, a new understanding to, weren't there enough graves in Mitzrayim, right? We had to come out here and drown. That's not what it says, but wow, I get it if, that's what they're worried about. Because I've been wanting to rock climb again with a partner for just for maybe a couple decades at least, maybe even 3 decades. I've wished I've had a belayer. So climbing out here in Pacific Grove is just horrifying, and so I've always been afraid. But I'm being told to let go of my attachments and and my fears, and so I don't know. It's either quit climbing, which just seems ridiculous, or man up and just get brave about it. But quit waiting for a partner, because the day is short. So that's what I'm working with is my own personal level of amuna, and and not being a hypocrite. And that's a big reason why I left the South Coast was, I was just entirely full of it there. And the things I was working on, weren't real. And I write fiction, and that's cool, but, I don't want to live fiction. And so it is. And, so I'm not on the South Coast anymore. So I'm here, and, I'm giving a shiur. So on the last day of Pesach, it was Shabbos again, and it doesn't matter if it was Chol or if it was, Moed, because either way, it was a different parshiot depending on if it was Shabbos or not on the, on the last days of Yom Tov. But either way, it started with the same, Pesach, the same idea, not the words, but it said something like, Claudius Royal walked into the sea on dry land. So it says it, right there. So it doesn't, it skips the whole psychological, story, and all of the fears and beliefs and, all the situational mumbo jumbo that was going on, at Yom Suf. And it strips it down to the essential fact is that, when it was all said and done, they walked on dry land. So I'm staying in a Chabad shul, and, so I'm learning Chassidus, on Shabbos Pesach. The Rebbe, may his memory always be strengthened and bring the coming of Mashiach speedily in our day. The Rebbe said that walking on dry land means that there was no more water. And so dry land is, the good things, the right things, the holy things, the things that, come to a person when they do the right thing. It's Torah and mitzvot. It's the presence of Hashem in a very visible manner of hashgacha pratit, right? This is dry land. Mayim, on the other hand, the water, that's everything else. That's all the stuff that gets in the way. And so sometimes, it's not in the way, and we have moments of clarity within which we understand certain things, and these understandings, if they come from a deep place, you don't forget them. They become knowings, and if you're a clever person, you follow these sorts of intuitions because they lead to outrageous situations. Right, so I find myself in the position of just trying to eliminate hypocrisy in my own life, um, to practice my usefulness in a proper way, and to serve Hashem in the way that I was created to serve Him, and I'm the storyteller, pretty good at the one-liner. I live from random encounter to random